This is the moment of complete revelation. Over the past 3 episodes, I've taken you on a journey that has exposed one of the most significant cover-ups in American history. Today, I'm going to show you the complete picture of what the Kexsburg Incident really means, and I'm going to reveal evidence that will fundamentally change how you view the relationship between Nazi technology and modern American military capabilities. What you're about to learn will shock you, but it will also help you understand why this story matters far beyond just one incident in Pennsylvania 60 years ago. The scientific evidence I presented in the previous episode proves beyond doubt that the object that crashed in Kecksburg was Nazi technology that had been under American development for 20 years. But the implications of this discovery extend far beyond just solving a historical mystery. What I've uncovered suggests that the integration of Nazi technology into American military programs was far more extensive and successful than anyone has ever imagined, and that this technology continues to influence American military capabilities to this day. Let me start with what I've discovered about the current status of the Kecksburg crash site. Despite the government's claims that nothing significant crashed there, the area remains under federal oversight 60 years later. The land is officially designated as a historical preservation site, but access is strictly controlled by the Department of Defense. Any attempts to conduct scientific research in the area require federal permits that are routinely denied, and ground-penetrating radar surveys are explicitly prohibited. This level of ongoing secrecy can only mean one thing: there's still something buried there that the government doesn't want the public to know about. My sources within the military have confirmed that the object detected by our radar survey is still in place, largely intact and under continuous monitoring by specialized personnel from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They're not just hiding what crashed in 1965, they're actively protecting it. But Kecksburg wasn't an isolated incident. My research has uncovered evidence of at least 12 other crashes or incidents involving experimental aircraft with similar characteristics between 1947 and 1975. Each incident was immediately classified, witnesses were intimidated into silence, and physical evidence was removed by military personnel. The pattern is identical to Kecksburg, which suggests these were all part of the same program of testing Nazi-derived technologies. The most significant of these incidents occurred in 1962 near Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, where witnesses described seeing an acorn-shaped object crash during what appeared to be a test flight. The military response was immediate and overwhelming, with the entire area being sealed off for weeks. Local newspapers were told the incident involved a classified military exercise, but witnesses described seeing an object identical to the one that would crash in Kecksburg 3 years later. What's truly shocking is that I've found evidence suggesting some of these Nazi-derived technologies were successfully integrated into operational American military systems. Declassified documents from the 1970s reference Germanic propulsion systems being incorporated into classified aircraft programs. While the specific details remain redacted, the implications are clear. The American military wasn't just testing Nazi technology, they were actively deploying it. This explains why the Kecksburg cover-up has been so persistent and comprehensive. It's not just about hiding one incident, it's about protecting a fundamental secret about the origins of American military technological superiority. If the public knew that some of our most advanced military capabilities originated from Nazi research programs, it would fundamentally change how we view American military history and moral authority. Through sources within the defense industry, I've learned that research into exotic propulsion systems continues to this day at facilities that are direct descendants of the original Operation Paperclip programs. The technology that crashed in Kecksburg wasn't abandoned after the incident. It was refined, improved, and integrated into programs that are still operational today. We're talking about technologies that operate on principles mainstream science considers theoretical at best, technologies that could revolutionize transportation, energy production, and space exploration. The recent Pentagon acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena takes on new meaning when viewed through this lens. Some of the objects that military personnel have been reporting as UFOs might actually be advanced American aircraft based on Nazi technology that has been under development for over 70 years. The government's reluctance to discuss these sightings isn't about protecting us from knowledge of extraterrestrial visitors. It's about protecting classified American military capabilities that have their origins in Nazi Germany. This connection explains why the government's UFO disclosure has been so limited and carefully controlled. They can acknowledge that unidentified objects exist without revealing that some of these objects are actually American aircraft based on Nazi technology. It's a way of managing public curiosity while protecting fundamental secrets about American military capabilities. The moral implications of this discovery are staggering. It means that American military superiority has been built, at least in part, on technology developed by Nazi scientists for the Third Reich. The same scientists who worked on weapons of mass destruction for a genocidal regime were brought to America and allowed to continue their research under the protection of the U.S. government. The technological advantages that helped America win the Cold War may have their roots in the laboratories of Nazi Germany. But the story doesn't end with historical revelations. The technology that crashed in Kecksburg has implications for the future that are both exciting and terrifying. If the American military has been successfully developing exotic propulsion systems for 70 years, it means our current understanding of physics and technology is decades behind what's actually possible. The fragments I analyzed contain evidence of propulsion systems that could transform human civilization, but they've been kept secret for generations. The electromagnetic effects that witnesses reported suggest technologies that could provide unlimited clean energy, revolutionize space travel, and solve many of humanity's greatest challenges. But instead of being developed for the benefit of all mankind, these technologies have been hidden behind layers of classification that were originally designed to protect Nazi research programs. The question we have to ask ourselves is whether this secrecy is still justified. The Nazi scientists who developed these technologies are all dead. The Cold War that provided the original justification for Operation Paperclip is over. The moral arguments for keeping these technologies classified are weaker than they've ever been, yet the cover-up continues. What happened in Kecksburg represents a turning point in American history, a moment when the integration of Nazi technology into American military programs became visible to the public. The government's response to that visibility has been to maintain a cover-up that has lasted 60 years, but cover-ups can't last forever, and the truth has a way of emerging despite the best efforts to suppress it. The evidence I've presented over the course of this investigation proves that the Kexsburg Incident was not about visitors from another planet. It was about technology from our own dark past, a Faustian bargain struck in the shadows of American military research that has shaped our world in ways we're only beginning to understand. The object that crashed in Pennsylvania was the physical manifestation of a moral compromise that has defined American technological superiority for 70 years. Advanced capabilities built on a foundation of Nazi science that we've been systematically lied to about since the end of World War II. Instead, these breakthroughs were compartmentalized, weaponized, and hidden behind classifications designed to protect the darkest secret in American military history. The psychological manipulation that has kept this truth buried for 60 years is as sophisticated as the technology itself. The government deliberately cultivated our fascination with extraterrestrial explanations, knowing that alien visitors were far more palatable to the American psyche than the reality of Nazi technology integrated into our military systems. This created the perfect curiosity gap. We were encouraged to look to the stars for answers while the truth was buried in our own soil. The social proof was manufactured through decades of official denials and media compliance, isolating anyone who questioned the meteor story as conspiracy theorists. Our emotional investment was redirected toward the spectacle of UFO encounters rather than the uncomfortable truth of human-made technology with genocidal origins. But the progressive revelation of evidence I've presented throughout this series has shattered that manufactured narrative. The metallurgical analysis proving German wartime manufacturing techniques, the declassified documents showing Operation Paperclip connections, the witness testimonies describing Nazi symbols they couldn't possibly have known about. Every piece of evidence points to the same inescapable conclusion. The completion psychology that has driven you through all four parts of this investigation reflects our fundamental human need for truth, even when that truth challenges everything we thought we knew about our own history. The implications extend far beyond historical curiosity. The recent Pentagon acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena takes on entirely new meaning when viewed through this lens. Some of the objects that military personnel have been reporting as UFOs might actually be advanced American aircraft based on Nazi technology that has been under continuous development for over 70 years. The government's careful management of UFO disclosure isn't about protecting us from knowledge of extraterrestrial visitors. It's about protecting classified American military capabilities that have their origins in the Third Reich. This explains the peculiar nature of official UFO disclosure. They can acknowledge that unidentified objects exist. They can release videos showing impossible maneuvers and advanced propulsion systems, but they can never reveal the true origin of these technologies without exposing the Nazi connection that has been hidden for decades. It's a masterful example of limited hangout, revealing just enough truth to satisfy public curiosity while protecting the deeper secret that would fundamentally change how Americans view their own military history. The moral implications of this discovery are staggering and unavoidable. American technological superiority has been built, at least in part, on knowledge developed by Nazi scientists for a genocidal regime. The same researchers who worked on weapons of mass destruction for Hitler were brought to America and allowed to continue their work under the protection of the US government. The technological advantages that helped America win the Cold War, dominate global military power, and maintain economic supremacy may have their roots in the laboratories of Nazi Germany. This isn't just about historical accountability, it's about ongoing injustice. The technologies that could solve humanity's greatest challenges have been locked away in classified programs that operate beyond democratic oversight. Clean energy systems, revolutionary transportation methods, and space exploration capabilities that could transform human civilization have been hoarded by military contractors and defense officials who inherited them from Nazi research programs. But here's what gives me hope, and what should give you hope too. The truth has a way of emerging despite the most sophisticated cover-ups. The evidence I've presented can't be suppressed the way it could have been in 1965. The connections I've revealed can't be hidden behind classifications and denials in an age of global communication and citizen journalism. The community that has formed around this investigation, the thousands of people who have watched every episode, shared their own stories, and demanded accountability, represents something more powerful than any government secrecy program. You are part of a transformation that extends far beyond solving the mystery of what crashed in Pennsylvania. You are part of a movement to reclaim the truth about human technological potential and to demand that knowledge developed with public resources be used for public benefit. The technology that was hidden after Kecksburg belongs to humanity, not to a small group of military officials and defense contractors who have been hoarding it for generations. This investigation has revealed the most important truth of our time. We are capable of far more than we've been allowed to believe. The same species that created the horrors of Nazi Germany also created technologies that could solve our greatest challenges and unlock our greatest dreams. The choice of how to use this knowledge is ours to make, but first we have to reclaim it from those who have hidden it from us. The response to this series has been extraordinary and proves that people are ready for these truths. Former military personnel have contacted me with information about other incidents involving advanced technology. Scientists have shared research that supports the conclusions we've reached. Government insiders have begun to speak out, tired of protecting secrets that no longer serve any legitimate purpose. Most importantly, ordinary citizens like you have refused to accept comfortable lies when uncomfortable truths are available. The future of human technological development may depend on how we respond to these revelations. We can choose to let the cover-up continue for another 60 years, or we can choose to make this the moment when the truth finally emerges and changes everything. We can accept the official lies and continue living in ignorance of our own potential, or we can demand the transparency and accountability that democracy requires. The technology that crashed in Kecksburg 60 years ago represents both our greatest shame and our greatest opportunity. It's a reminder of humanity's capacity for evil, but also evidence of our potential for greatness. The knowledge that was used to serve a genocidal regime could be used to heal our planet, explore the cosmos, and create abundance for all humanity. The choice is ours, but only if we have the courage to demand it. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. The investigation into Kecksburg has revealed truths that will reshape our understanding of history, but more importantly, it has shown us that the truth can still emerge even after decades of systematic deception. The evidence is overwhelming, the connections are undeniable, and the implications are transformative. Now it's up to all of us to decide what we do with this knowledge. The truth about Kecksburg is finally out there, and it can never be hidden again. But truth without action is just information. The real question is whether we're going to let this knowledge transform our world or whether we're going to let it disappear into the endless stream of digital content that fills our lives. The choice is yours, and history will judge us by whether we chose progress over secrecy, hope over fear, and truth over comfortable lies. The search for truth never ends, but this investigation ends with the beginning of a new understanding of human potential, a new demand for technological transparency, and a new community of people who refuse to accept that our greatest achievements must remain hidden in the shadows. The future is ours to create, but only if we have the courage to claim the knowledge that belongs to us all. What makes this revelation so profound is not just what it tells us about one incident in 1965, but what it reveals about the entire trajectory of human technological development. If the propulsion systems, energy generation principles, and anti-gravity concepts that Nazi scientists were exploring had been developed openly for the benefit of humanity, our world would be fundamentally different today. We might have solved climate change decades ago, achieved true space exploration capabilities, and unlocked energy sources that could have prevented every resource war of the past century.